Hi everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Stamping. This is a place where we can get together to chat, to create, and have some paper crafting fun together. Today is April the 1st, and it's the 2024. My name is Lillian from Stampers Niche, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from sunny Alberta, Canada, where it really feels like spring out there today. We were able to be out there in our shirt sleeves and go for a walk, and it was all quite comfortable when we just think a few days ago the snow was falling. So we love the dramatic change for the better that we can have here in our country. So welcome, and I hope you all had a great Easter weekend. I know we did, and ate a little too much likely. But before I go down to my desktop, just thinking about it being April Fool's Day this morning, did anyone prank you this morning or play an April Fool's trick on you? Or did you play a trick on anybody else? Or did you just ignore the day altogether? The April Fool's part of it. Anyway, come on. The phone didn't want to switch down. So, are you an April Fool's kind of person or not? I read where somebody's son had switched all their cupboard drawers around or something, but I'm really glad that didn't happen here. I was pretty happy just to have it the day proceeding per normal. So just getting the computer set up here as you're all hopping on. Make sure you're saying hi. I see some people that no pranks there. Somebody else ignored no pranks. Oh, we're all a pretty safe lot here, aren't we? As a kid, I loved to think that I could prank my dad and mom, but now I'm just quite happy to be living in a prank-free zone. So, and just while a few more people are popping on, one of the things we did today was went to a movie, and the movie we went to see was Ordinary Angels, and it was really, really good. So if you're looking for a good movie to go see, I would recommend that. It's based on an actual true story, and it just talks about how angels can be rather ordinary people. So that being said, let's go to this. When I posted, if I use this paper tonight, which of these colors would you like to see used with it? This was hands down the winner right here. I was leaning towards this, so I'm glad I asked. We're going to use this. There are all kinds of other colors you can use. This paper actually has tons of colors. These would have worked well too, but we're going to go with Blackberry Bliss. Now this paper is actually from an online exclusive, meaning you can only see it online. You can order it any old way, but you can only see it online. So the paper I'm using tonight, I should have had this up a little higher or something, but it has a panel going top and bottom. So what I did was cut it down the middle, and then we're going to be cutting it into sections. But let's take a quick look. I know I've shown it before, but some of you might not have been here when I showed it, and you might have missed it. So this is it on one side. It's bright, it's colorful, it's very spring-like. This one in particular, it's really easy to cut those flowers out of. And then when you flip it over, you have your more generic designs that work beautifully on all kinds of projects as well. And I will show a little bit of that a little bit later too. But that's the paper we're using. It's called Flowering Zinnias. There's the, whoops, and I just threw mine on the floor. So, and we're going to use this as our card base. So what I'm doing tonight is a fun fold that uses designer paper, and I'm going to explain more about that in a little bit. My goodness, I cleaned up the room because we had company yesterday, and some of them had to come in here to get something they'd asked me to make, and I cleaned the room and everything's not quite where it used to be. So our paper is going to be 5.5, so that's our regular size. So So if you can see here, it's the regular size like that. And we are going to score it in 2 spots. We're going to score it on the 7.5, with the 7.5 side at the top. We're going to score it at 3, right here. Whoops, got to get that blade out of the way. Score it at 3. And if you find you don't get quite a deep enough score line, you can also use just your bone folder fits in that slot nicely too. You're going to score it at 3, and you're also going to score it at 6.5. So it's just past the join there at 6.5. So we've got a piece of paper that's 5.5 by 7.5, and with 7.5 at the top, we've scored it at 3 and 6.5. So there we go, like that. We'll put that down. And we're going to fold now. So the 3-inch, we're going to fold in. We're going to line up the edges and burnish that fold with our bone folder. And so now this looks like a card that we often make with just a piece cut off the front. But we have this score line here. What you're going to do is fold back on that score line, lining up your edges again, and then unfold it so that when you're looking at it, it's going to look like this, but you can bend it back and forth. So let me show you the style of card that I am making. So I learned how to make this card. Let me just check her name here. Lorna Razinski taught me this card. I made it, but she taught me how. But when you receive the card, it looks like a normal flat front card. But when you go to open it, it opens like that. So I thought that was really, really neat. So I thought you might too. So we're going to make that together tonight. So we've got this piece done. Now we're going to bring in our designer paper, and we're going to cut it. And our designer paper is going to be 5 1/4 this way. So let's see, what do we have here? We have 5.5. So my decision is, do I cut some off the top or off the bottom? I'm actually thinking I like some of this white at the top, so my decision tonight is going to be off the bottom, and I want it at 5 1/4. And this makes a pretty decoration on the inside or somewhere else. And then, so it's 5 1/4 and by 3. Keep this. So we've got that. So this is going to go right here. It shouldn't be 3, it should be 2.5. I calculated that wrong, or I calculated this wrong. So we're going to just change it up a little bit. We're going to make this 2 3/4. Now, which side do I want to cut off? We'll cut this one off. 2 3/4. So it's going to go on here and have that nice border, just like that. And then I better measure this and make sure I'm on the right track. So I have a little wider thing there. So this is 1 inch. So it's going to look slightly different because I did a slightly different measurement, but I think it's still going to look pretty good. So we've got this, it's going to fit there, and then we need the same piece of paper. It's already 5 1/4. We're going to cut it at 3/4, and I'm going to flip it around and do it this way, like that. I'm going to put this away. But what am I doing tonight? I cut it at a 1/2 inch, and I want it at 3/4. My goodness, I must have got too much Easter dinner yet. Haven't recovered. So 3/4. There we go. We have it correct now. So what we're going to do is just bring in our glue, and we're going to stick this piece to this flap right here. And we're not going to use that one. I likely should have stayed in bed this morning. Let's do this one more time. Third time's a charm. So 3/4 of an inch. I put the glue on the wrong side. I was so mesmerized by the flowers. But on this one, I want to put my glue on the flowers. There we go. We'll get it, yeah. So we've got it on there like that. And then on this side, a little bit of glue's oozing out there. We'll wipe that off, make it tidy. On this side, we will put the glue on the lemon lime twist side. Like that. And center it. And there we go. Now, if I had measured it properly, it would be a little closer here. As you can see right here, I'll put the correct measurements up afterwards. But there we go. We have it just like that. So now what do we do? What we're going to do is do a little closure. So what I was looking at, do you find that with everything retiring, you take a look at things a little differently and you haul out some of the things maybe you haven't played with for a while? So I hauled out the All That dies because they have so many great shapes in them. And I'm going to use this one and layer it on here. Long time ago, I shared with you, I took all those shapes and practiced different layers and what they looked like. So this is what we're using is, oh no, where is the circle? This one here is the one we're using tonight. So we're going to bring this in. And so I had a few cut because I wasn't sure which one you were going to choose. So I think that we would likely choose this one here, and then the white is going to go on top. So I think that would look good. All right, now the next choice is the words. So I really am enjoying my Hooray for Surprises, not just for the images, but I also love the words in it. So I'm going to bring in the die, the circle die, from here, from the All That dies, and I'm going to see which one fits. So that fits, that fits, that fits, that fits. Oh, wow. Most of them fit. I think I'll go with You're the Best because it's pretty generic, and then I can put whatever I want on the inside, right? So You're the Best. And I'm going to bring in a block. And remember, when you're mounting your photopolymer stamps, put them down and then put the block to them and then pick it up. Otherwise, you can twist. I'll just show you. I could have it a little twisted because they're bendy and I might not get it down as straight as I would want. So you keep the shape a little more intact that way. And I'm going to stamp it on there. When I'm stamping by myself, sometimes I will stamp first and then cut out the die, but this is going to fit nicely. So we're going to go like that. You're the Best. There we go. Just like that. So we'll put that to the side. And do we need another thing on there? Do you know what? This stamp set has little flowers. Let's add them in as well. I'll bring in a stamp. And so we could bring in the Lemon Lime Twist or Berry Burst. What would you use for the flowers? What color? Lemon Lime Twist, Berry Burst, Petal Pink? What do you think for the flowers? Let me know what you would go with. And not seeing any suggestions. Lemon lime. Okie dokie. We will go with lemon lime. Thank you, Kathleen. Here we go. We'll just add a few. And I'm going to add just another little corner there. I like doing things in threes. So we've got that done. And now what we're going to do is put these two together. I love a circle because we can just, doesn't matter if we stamp straight or not, we can just twist it around, right? So we'll go like that. Now we've got our greeting. Now you'll notice on this one, we put the greeting down here and did a stamped image there. So you can do whichever you want. I'm using my grids here, trying to make sure I've got my words straight. So while that's setting up, we're going to put the basic white inside. And again, I cut it because I scored that first one incorrectly. I've got everything out of whack a little bit. I will remake this the right size after this video so that you can see it that way too. But this is just showing you that there's another way to do it. So this will go in here so that you have somewhere to write and stamp in there. And I think while I've got this out, I'm going to do a few flowers in here as well. There we go. I can still fit words and writing and everything in, and it'll all be good. So we've got that for the liner. We've got this now that we're set to go. And what we're going to do with this is we're just going to put adhesive down this side and glue it down here. And then it's going to hold this closed like that. Then when you go to open it, it's going to go like that. We've just got a little wider divide there. So we'll bring in our adhesive. Now I've never done it with dimensionals, so we could experiment sometime and try that. But I like it just nice and flat because it holds it closed. So we'll go like that so that the glue part is over here. And while that's setting up, which embellishments should we use? We have the embellishments that match the zinnias. These are called adhesive back shiny sequins. We could use the sequins, or we could use the brass dragonflies and birds. So I'm just going to hold this here and this here. Which would you go with? Let's say birds or sequins. Birds or sequins, which would you go with? Butterflies, yes, the butterflies would look great too, but I don't have them out tonight, Yvonne. So it's so likely the birds, right? Because they look like the dragonflies. Yep, got it. I was leaning that way too. So we are all on the same page here. So let's bring this in. And we'll bring in, whoops, a little dragonfly right here amongst, right there. I think it shows up. And we've got this one here. And I have gone through more packages of these birds and dragonflies, and they also are on an online exclusive. So that's just really fun like that. So just like that, we have this card all made. We just have this to put inside. I'm going to put it inside just to tack it in because I'd like to stamp first. And I'm not sure if I want it for a birthday or just an thank you or whatever. So we'll put it like that, close it up, and there you have it, just like that. So you've got a few scraps. I have a few more than usual. So we could put a little bit on the back and put where we're going to put our signature or something like that. So I'm going to just snip off a bit and do that, we've got to use every piece of this gorgeous paper, right? So how many of you, just going to take some of that glue off, got a little carried away. How many of you like fun folds? And how many of you have lots of designer paper? I personally like fun folds, and I personally like designer paper. So I've actually put together a designer paper and fun folds class, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So here's the card we created tonight. Even with our oopses and our mistakes, it worked out just fine. This is the one that we started out with. So it did. The only thing different was it wasn't quite such a big gap in there. And we used the two sides of the same designer paper, and they went together beautifully. There we go. This holds it closed just a little bit better. This was done with the garden, with the Meandering Meadows designer paper. Oh, look at that. Same stamp set. So you can do this with anything. You can get all totally different looks. And I really, really love it. So if you love fun folds and designer paper, you might be interested in my April class. It's a fun folds and designer papers class to go. This is the link to find out all about it, and you can even earn it for free if you place a $60 or more order with me during April. But just a little heads up about that, so you can check that out. Now, some of you are saying, online, does that mean I have to order online? No, you're welcome to order online. That's always good. But if you're not comfortable ordering online, you can always contact me. But you can see, because this Stampin' Up! Is developing this online part as well, because they can show you so many more products and interesting ideas. So when you go to my website, that's it right here, this type of thing will come up. And you can scroll down and through the what's new, see right there's online exclusives, and you can click on that. Or you can go up here. Whoops, I'm going to go backwards here. So it was doing what I was told it to. There are the 3 lines here, and you can click on the 3 lines and shop now. And it's got to do its business here. And then you can see online exclusives right here. Oops, where did it go? Is it still working? I can go back up here, online exclusives, and click there. Here we go. And this is sort of like your quick view here. But say you wanted to know more. Let me just find. Here is the whole Flowering Zinnias suite. I want to know more about it. Then click on it, and you can scroll down. It explains it. It shows more pictures, that kind of thing. So you can even, on some of them, let me just see here, you can see other samples. So say, for example, this little puppy and cat one, you can go here, you see a sample already there, and you can then check it out even more. So don't be afraid to go look at online exclusives. You're not making a commitment, but there's lots there to see. So this is the class that I will be offering. This is just a little additional. This is not one of the projects, but I want to show you some other things made with this great paper here. So here's another one where I just cut out that panel. A stamped happy birthday with that Simply Scripted, added some of the sequins and a bit of ribbon, and right there you have a card. So pretty. Now I didn't have this Zinnias dies, so I went and took my daisy dies and made this one here, and this is a pocket card. So I have this little card in here, and again you can see the sequins here. But what I also have in here, you can see how I made a little gift card holder down here. I have a package of zinnia seeds, so I can tuck this in here as well. I chose to tuck them behind because I wanted you to be able to see the white. But this is just designer paper here, right there. And then here's one that's a shorter slimline card. So this is, I think it's 3 by 6 or 3.5 by 6. Better not just 3.5 by 6. And again, it's the paper we used tonight, and it's the back side as well. And then the modern label, I stamped it on the lower portion, cut it off, and then tucked the other piece behind. So this paper was used as just a design piece in there instead of a ribbon. So we've got that, and then this one here, I just simply cut the flowers out of the designer paper, added some sprigs from something else, I can't remember, and just did a very simple card like that. So you might be looking at the flowering zinnias in just a slightly different light. And how many of you are loving this paper? Is it bringing just a pop of color into our life right now? It is for me, so I'm hoping it is for you too. So I talked about my Fun Folds class and designer paper class to go. Also, once a month, I have an in-person class in my basement, and everybody is welcome. You can come, you can bring a friend. I just need you to register. So it's going to be April the 10th and 11th. So there'll be 2 evening slots and 1 afternoon slot. So again, here is where you register here. So just to remind you of that. And of course, remember Paper Pumpkin, and this is this 3D butterfly is part of the Paper Pumpkin kit coming up this month. And oh, I forgot one more thing from the Zinnia kit. Remember, that has the glimmer paper, and I've shown you these 2 cards before too, but this glimmer paper is actually coordinates with the colors in the Zinnia paper. So be sure to take a look at that when you're visiting the online store too. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you like this card, and I hope you're going to try this Fun Fold card. I will be posting the measurements in, can't even talk, in my newsletter on Thursday. So you'll be able to see how it works perfectly then too. So there you go. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Enjoy the tail end of your Easter long weekend and have a fabulous week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.